David Wagi, and Michelle Zarnick, who is also here. So on
I'm here
behalf of
too.
all of us, thank you. And Laura's here. On
Finally.
behalf of all of you, thank you for attending today. With that, it goes over to Deanna.
All right. Well, I'm going to start out with some just quickly. My name, Deanna Gensi, Executive Director here. We have some staff, some of our staff on. I know it's hard on Zoom for everybody to take turns introducing themselves, but I don't have a pretty little slide of all of our staff because I don't think it would fit on one slide. So I'll just let those that are in attendance to please, introduce themselves and the position that you hold. So thank you.
Dale Camber, Director of Operations.
Hi, I'm Marcy Salm, Director of Financial Operations.
I'm Jessica Erdman, Home Services Coordinator.
Alyssa Miller, Employment Services Coordinator.
I'm Haley Zipko. I'm our Community Coordinator.
I'm Logan Rooney. I'm an Employment Connector.
I'm Andre Owens, Hiring and Resources Coordinator.
And I'm Sarah Reinertson, Executive Administrative Assistant, but it won't let me show my picture.
I'm Barb Saraki, Data Entry Coordinator.
I see Karen Litz trying to get on.
I don't know who Ascend 20 number is.
I don't know who Ascend 20 is either. Can Ascend 20 hashtag introduce yourself, please? Okay, it's a mystery. We're gonna figure that one out. And Karen, would you like to introduce yourself? But your mic is on.
Is it on now?
There you go.
There we go. I'm Karen. I'm a case manager.
Thank you. And I don't know who the mystery Ascend 20 hashtag is. Is there any other staff on that haven't introduced yet?
I don't have you on here. Heidi, are you Ascend hashtag 20? Okay, Ascend, Heidi Seminar is here with me, so.
Okay. All right. Very good. I think we've gone through introductions. So we could probably switch the screen, Sarah. That would be great.
So Deanna, your report, please.
Thank you. I think Sarah's switching screens. So I just want to say welcome to our annual meeting. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to be here and support our organization.
I just can't find myself. That's okay.
And if people could mute themselves, that would be great. So it goes without.
You have to unmute yourself, Deanna.
Sorry. All right, sorry about that. Sarah.
Oh, I don't like this pop-up. You're muted again, Deanna. Oh, yes. I don't need it on, no. Deanna, unmute yourself.
I am.
Okay.
I just need you to switch the screen over to my PowerPoint.
I'm on there.
I don't see my PowerPoint.
It should be up there. I've got it sharing.
Can people see Ascend Services?
I'm at the mission statement.
I'm still seeing the board.
Yeah, the board is what's showing for me too.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
while you're looking for that, I'll just start talking. Welcome to our annual meeting. Thank you to everybody for taking time out of your day to be here and support our organization. I mean, it goes without saying, this has been quite a year. Lots of changes and unknowns for everyone, both personally and professionally. I think I can safely say we've all learned so much throughout 2020, from new words that we never thought of before to the multitude of protocols that need to be in place to keep everybody safe. I read somewhere dictionary.com broke its own record with 15,000 updates to existing entries and addition of 650 new words. But one of the changes we've all grown, I think, accustomed to are our virtual meetings. Technology allows us to connect anytime, anywhere, from almost any device. Today, I think we can attest to that. I see people in their cars, we've got people at home, people in offices. And for the first time ever, we're doing our annual meeting for, virtually via Zoom. So I think ultimately the greatest lesson that COVID has taught all of us, or humanity, is that we're all in this together, including how to run Zoom meetings.
So do you have yours up?
I do. I'm ready to
Okay.
go.
Okay.
All right, next slide. There we go. Thank you. All right. So maybe it didn't work, Sarah. There we go. So sorry. Our mission statement is to promote individual growth by providing community experiences, education, and employment opportunities. I like to always say to our staff, our mission statement is the heart of what we provide on a daily basis. It's all about providing opportunities to learn a skill, discover, and grow. Essentially, we've been helping people help themselves since 1957, thanks to our founder, BJ Helverson. We've seen many changes come down from legislation that has shaped some of our service provision. However, our vision is to continue to offer a full spectrum or menu of services to adults and youth with diverse abilities. These opportunities open doors to people. They help get them into community connections and develop relationships. When we started 2020, we said we were going to kick off the year with a Building Full Lives initiative and assess the services that we were offering to the people we serve. And we did just that. To quote Socrates, the secret of change is to focus all of your energy, not on fighting the old. I think we might amend it to say, or not fighting COVID, but on building the new. We ended up restructuring our entire organization to better align with the mission and the vision of our Building Full Lives model. Here is a snapshot of how our staff organizational chart looks today. Our mission for 2020 and moving forward was really to meet people exactly where they're at, help them discover their interests and identify what services we have that could assist them in meeting their goals. So exactly what is Building Full Lives initiative and why did we restructure? We started with a technical assistance grant back in fall of 2019 and then kicked off the year with this full launch. We did have to pause for a bit to navigate through the pandemic when that all started in March. But in July, we started all over and said July 1st is our new January 1st and started off with our Building Full Lives initiative. Building Full Lives services helps people who are already working in the community to support them to build new skills, stay healthy, maintain friendships, and contribute to their communities. Work is just one part of a full community life. People need friendships, hobbies, ways to give back, and to feel valued. We simply cannot help people into jobs and ignore the rest of their lives. If we do, people might not choose to work in the community, or if they do, they might become isolated and lonely as a result of not having a means to maintain friendships and engage in meaningful activities outside of work. People that we serve want to live full lives in their communities just like us, but with the right resources, supports, and services, we can get them there. Building Full Lives also can be used to help people safely explore their interests, meet new people, and get connected to opportunities in the community, ultimately making an informed decision to explore employment in the community. So through Building Full Lives, we can help individuals develop the skills to achieve their goals. We can encourage meaningful community involvement and contribution, becoming citizens of our community. And we also are here to provide supported learning about and exploring all of the employment options in our community. So as I stated, our vision is to offer a full spectrum of services. So as you look at how we're doing that and how we've restructured, you know, we started something new in June, something that we maybe were not thinking about in January of last year, but as a consequence of navigating through a pandemic, we started our home services, which includes things like supportive home care, daily living skills, mentoring, and respite services. We also continue to offer our employment service package, which includes pre-vocational services, mobile work crews, integrated employment, also known as community employment. And we have our community services, Linked, which is our community-based day service segment, also part of the Building Full Lives initiative, and our traditional day services. In December, we started working with Manitowoc County Human Services Department through the Children's Long-Term Support Waiver Program to serve children and young adults, both in their homes and also over at our community service program. Now we have the ability to work with people across their entire age span, meeting them right where they need services, inspiring them to set goals and empowering them to achieve them. With a multitude of services that we have, we are now able to link people up to the right resources and keep that cycle of lifelong discovery, skill building, so they can help themselves get to where they need to be. So diving down a little bit into home services, they really are designed to assist individuals in their homes, just as it states. So supportive home care, that's a supportive way of helping people with things at home, things like providing med reminders, health monitoring, meal prepping, grocery shopping, errands, doing general cleaning, perhaps some social companionship. Daily living skills is a little bit on the opposite, where we're not necessarily helping individuals with those skills, but we're helping teach those skills, eventually fading out. The young gentleman shown in this picture, we started with kind of, the supportive home care, but I think essentially we did a lot more of the daily living skills component, where we were teaching him to become independent. And whatever he's making at this, as we're looking at that, it looks like lasagna. It's kind of looks good at this time of the day.
It's a meatball casserole.
Oh, is that what it is? Well, I'm going to forget the meat part and just say it looked like lasagna. In my head, it's a veggie lasagna, but thank you. Respite is really a service designed to give caregivers a break, especially important during COVID when everybody was safer at home. So something that we were able to provide to some participants, by getting them out on a walk and getting them, out of the house for a bit and allowing mom and dad some respite time. Mentoring is something new that we're just kind of kicking off with the youth service. Overall, it's to help with life skills, with some teaching and guidance to both not only the child, but also to the parent, and sort of mentoring some social behaviors, or mentoring to parents how to best work through some challenges, or how to best teach, and guide their son or daughter through some of the life skills. In 2020, we just with kicking off, when we did, we received 20 referrals for our supportive home care, and currently have 5 people on the waiting list. In respite, we had 5 referrals and have 4 people on our waiting list. And here is one of our fun success stories. Our first individual, I said KH, but Carrie, he joined our home services in August of 2020. And I'm going to talk about a success story here just for a moment. He set goals to get his health on track and needed our assistance to get there. He moved to Manitowoc in August, and like I said, turned to us for assistance with getting back like a healthier lifestyle. He had set goals for himself that we helped him with. Basically, he was struggling to mobilize. He was using a walker or a wheelchair to get around. He wasn't able to get to doctor appointments. He needed help with those doctor appointments because they were crucial because of the condition that he had. So once we were able to get him to these medical appointments and stabilize his health, he is now able to navigate and walk around without that use of a walker or wheelchair. And he's also lost weight because of us helping him with his grocery shopping, healthier nutrition. So he's become somebody that has gone from really needing a lot of those services to not needing a lot of those services. When we first started working with him, we were providing 12 hours a day of support to him. We are now down to approximately 3 to 4 based on the day and the goals that are set out for the day. The other goal he set for himself, and again, when you talk about building a full life, is he wanted to obtain a job in our community. He chose Ascend Services as the provider to help him find employment. And so while our team was out searching for a job for Carrie, he started in our pre-vocational service program, where he started to work on some of the job skills, soft skills, trying to get back into the swing of what does it mean to work, and sort of do some refreshers with him because it had been some time since he had worked. In the meantime, community employment team found him a job at Myers here in Manitowoc, and he's thrilled and is one of their best greeters, and also does some security there. I know that they earn Meyer points, and apparently he is somebody, and I would probably have to ask Logan how many Meyer points he has, but he's got a lot of Meyer points for being an outstanding employee. So kind of a neat story. The other thing is that he set another goal, is that he really wanted to start to meet good, trustworthy people that he could socialize with. So our team started to take him places like Painting Pathways, different places in the community where he could meet, I'm going to say, and have appropriate relationships. And then it was like the next step was, we don't always want to be taking him to these, to meet up with people. So we started to teach him things like how to, call a taxi cab, how to navigate on our public transportation. So again, wanting to teach him how to be more independent. So our team has mentored him through all of that, and again, helped reduce the amount of support he's needed from 12 hours a day down to, again, 3 to 4 hours a day, but also has helped him build a fuller life with all of the services that we have to offer. So yay, kudos to our team. We took on somebody pretty challenging, and again, at this point have got him to a point where he's leading a full life. And I'm sure it's not done. Again, the circle of life is that he's going to set more goals, and we're going to help him achieve or work towards achieving those goals. So the other sector of services that we offer is our traditional or our employment services. And that is really the mainstay, I'm going to say, of our program. We bundled these services into a package that we call our Workforce Employment Solutions. We look at our pre-vocational services, our mobile work crews, and our integrated, also known as supported employment, for those who kind of remember that term, none of them needing to be stepping stones to get from one to the other. However, they can be stepping stones, or they can be done simultaneously, with ultimately the goal that we'd like to be able to see people get to is to obtain their own job in the community. We also know that exposure precedes interest. So with that, we put together our services, and I look at, as we move to our pre-vocational services, the next slide, that is really truly the heart of pre-vocational services, is helping people develop general non-task specific strengths and skills, discovering themselves while working on jobs that we have obtained from our community business partners. So they're earning a paycheck, but also they're learning, their soft skills, they're doing that on the job training. We do hold a 14C license from the Department of Labor, which allows us to pay people for the work that they perform. So when they're not working and they're working more in the classroom, or they're working more on some of their non-task specific areas, such as going out into the community and maybe doing some volunteering, those are opportunities that are not necessarily, well, they're not paid for. So that's what that license, the 14C license, allows us to do. As you can tell by numbers, and this is where we're going to start to kind of see some numbers now is, COVID has definitely impacted our agency. We went from serving 122 individuals last January down to in December, we're basically essentially almost at half, serving 61 in our pre-voc program. So when we talk about pre-vocational services, we offer pre-vocational services at many different locations. Obviously, we have our main location here on Meadow Lane. We also offer pre-vocational services at our Plant 2 location on South 13th Street. We continue to provide our pre-voc or participants in our pre-voc program opportunities to work out at the recycling facility on Basswood Road. And we continue to have contracts with the Department of Transportation to provide staff and participants to work out at the I-43 rest areas. And also we have the seasonal wayside in Mill Home that we take care of. So during the course of 2020, as you can see here, we have a slide listed with our partners who did provide us with work opportunities that we were able to bring in and do at pretty much our pre-voc, our Plant 1 and Plant 2 location. So 34 different partners continue to work with us throughout the year. Mobile work crews was something we kicked off 2 years ago. Something that I think that, our agency should feel really proud about. It's a great, and I know we say we don't need stepping stones, but I think it's a great stepping stone or a great step for those who are in pre-voc, who would really like an opportunity to expand their work base outside of our pre-vocational or outside of Ascend's walls. It's, gives them an opportunity to go and learn new jobs or jobs they have done here perhaps, but just at a new setting. It is typically done with an employment mentor from Ascend who takes that group, anywhere from 3 to 8 individuals, to a site where they perform work. They are continued to be on our payroll while they're working at the mobile work crew. But at this point, it is an hourly job. It is something that we've negotiated with our mobile work crew partners that whatever work they're doing, they're being paid at least minimum wage, if not above. And again, looking at numbers, we had 42 individuals had opportunities to work at mobile work crews starting in January. And at the end of December, our numbers were at 28. Our partners with our mobile work crews throughout 2020 continue to be Classic Coatings, Parker Hannafin, and Lakeside Foods. So ultimately, and there are initiatives that we all hear about, and it's called Employment First, and it's a huge initiative where they would like, eventually legislation and rules would like to see that employment first is always the first thing that we provide to as the first experience for people that we are working with. And I like to say we've always offered especially integrated or supported employment for many, many, many years. And I'm going to tell a cute little story and segue off a little bit, but I was on Be My Guest this past week, and we had a call in, and, because the caller identified himself, I'm not breaching anything, but Scotty Paulo was a gentleman that we helped him find a job 25 years ago at Leicester Library, and he got on that call just to remind us that, hey, I'm at my 25-year anniversary that you helped me find. And I think that goes to attest that, we've always believed in helping people find jobs in the community, and that's always been an important piece of Holiday House, now Ascend Services. So I think when I start to hear other agencies talking about this being something new, it's not new to us. I think what's new is the fact that we change titles all the time to keep up with, the changing titles. So today we call it Integrated Community Employment. The idea behind it is really to prepare youths and adults for their job in the community, whether that's through job shadowing, helping them with building their resume, helping with interviewing skills, and eventually with job coaching and that hands-on work experience. We really, really want to help individuals explore their interests and help build their skills. So whether that is, again, through some temporary work experiences or job shadows, whatever it takes to get to that ultimate job that they're looking for, so that we can have a lot of success stories and say, you know, just like Scotty at his job for 25 years, you know, that's where we're at, you know, where we want to see ourselves continually building on those stories. So last year, I want to give kudos to our employment team. You know, despite it being a hard year, successfully, you know, we were able to place 15 people. We had 27 individuals that we continued to job coach or mentor. And there were 8 TWEs, temporary work experiences, job shadows that we were able to set up during the course of 2020. Now, of course, there are individuals, 9 individuals who are out of work due to COVID. But still overall a very successful year. So again, in a year where it was hard, you know, to help, you know, some people even just come here to Prevost, it was a year where we still were able to help people find jobs in the community. So here we have our partners that were new to us or who hired from us within the year. So kind of just neat to see who worked with us this year. And then continuing to work with us, our partners, you know, we've got 32 partners who continue to help, you know, or provide that partnership with our people throughout the year with their jobs. So at this point, when we say they're continued partners, that just means that we have either continued to follow them with drop-in visits or phone calls or some type of mentoring service throughout the year. But typically, you know, when we say they're continued, we're typically not providing a lot of job coaching or mentoring at this point. So again, kudos to our team when people get to that level. So in 2020, you know, as we took a look at all of our services, as most, you know, companies and agencies did, you know, and we reshuffled and we reorged, we also took a look at our day service building and decided that it was a good time to look at the function of it. You know, when we talk about community-based services, you know, the idea behind it is having groups meet up out in the community. But a lot of times the people that we work with still need to figure out a way to get from rural areas here. So we decided that day services should be renamed the community center because we're calling it the hub of our services, whether it's the center-based traditional day service program as we have always known it, or it's the hub, the starting place for those community-based groups to at least meet and start their day. The city bus meets up right outside the doors. So it kind of makes sense that it's become the hub of our community-based services. So when you look at our traditional day services, really the idea behind it is basically to provide life-enhancing services and opportunities to people. You know, pictured here we have Kathy. She's attended Ascend Services since 1974. She recently retired from our pre-vocational services side and attends our day service program at the community center since May of 2020. She previously struggled with changing her routine, trying new things. She's very focused individual. She likes her routine and her certain activities throughout her day. But in the last 9 months, she's made some amazing strides in trying new activities, building new skills while at the community center. Her new favorite task is sorting and folding laundry. She has a great eye for detail and she makes sure everything is completed to her standards. And she's a great help when it comes to keeping her area clean. One of the things that we really worked with our participants during COVID is learning how to disinfect their own work areas. And Kathy, she is super independent in that area. She grabs that disinfecting supply, she wipes her table down, and then she really does like sweeping. So that's one of the other things that she moves on to do is sweeping up floors. But they're tasks that she used to struggle to do, but with the support of our team and our staff, again, she's made great strides. She also really starts, you know, by being at our day service program, has started to work on increasing some of her other independent living skills so that it can carry over to home. So that's kind of the idea is to provide those enhancing services Eventually, we'll get back to being able to do a lot more with the recreational and social activity side of it. But during the day, they do work on health and wellness type of activities, everything that kind of goes into just creating that meaningful day. And as I said before, we talked a lot about our community-based model. So Linked is a model that we use. We model it after the Building Full Lives initiative. And if some of our people on our call here today probably remember last year we talked about two programs. We talked about Linked and we talked about Create. And as we started to navigate through the year and really look at the idea or mission behind both of them, we decided it made sense to merge them into one program, because the goal really is to provide community-based services, whether it's through something called Linked or it's something called Create. We decided that they're both community-based. So to keep it really simple, we merged them, and we've decided that as we put our small groups together, it's going to be based on what is the outcome of that group. So Linked can help people either use that program as more of a wraparound and creating that social network around jobs that they already have in the community, or it can be to learn more about their own skills and start to move in that direction of, yep, as a group, we're going to go out and we're going to get connected to friends. We're going to learn transportation. We're going to start to really look at the different jobs out in the community while we're also perhaps learning appropriate social skills and learning the city bus or learning different modes. But with the idea in that particular group with their outcome, moving in the direction of a job in the community. So again, just, in a nutshell, it's a community-based option that allows small groups either to move in the area of, I really want to have a socialization group that wraps around the fact that I already have a job and I have lots of free time, or it's to take a group that's have the same similar interests to help them move in the direction of a job through exploring and linking up to our community. So because of COVID, of course, it was really hard to take groups out into the community. And we are really hoping that this is going to ease up as people start to, there's, more and more of our individuals are getting vaccinated, more and more of our staff are getting vaccinated. I think they're starting to, we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And if anything, the other light at the end of the tunnel is, it is spring and we're moving into summer. So if anything, we can look forward to the fact that we can bring groups together and do things outside if we're not able to go into businesses yet with the group that we serve. So here we have pictured, obviously, again, numbers were higher. They were higher in the beginning of the year, 38. We were serving in our traditional day service program. Currently, we're serving 10. Last year at this time, we were serving 28 in our community-based or Linked program. And today we have not yet kicked it back off. And again, because we're trying, we have to honor and respect where people are at and just not ready to go back out and navigate through the community in those groups. So here we are. This is what we've done instead to connect. This is how we Zoom. So during 2020, we did whatever we could to stay connected. We did our virtual classes. We were making weekly phone calls to all of our members. We had drive-by and wave parades. We had an ice cream social. Whatever it took in 2020, that's what I told our team. That's what we're going to do. We want to stay connected. And, as you look at those pictures, it does look pretty, it is pretty fun. I think everybody had a lot of fun. We are starting to see a taper off in the virtual classes, just as people start to come back into programming. They're starting to have less and less people involved in our virtual classes. We still are offering them. I would just say that, we're just not offering them to as many people as we were before. But it's just kind of fun to show that picture. I always, I think all of us, just kind of need to put a story behind what we do. I think the biggest challenge we had in the very beginning, just like any other business, was, you know, putting all of the safe protocols in place, both in our facilities, in our vehicles, in our homes when we're walking in and providing that supportive home care service, just to make sure that we're keeping not only the people we serve safe, but we wanted to make sure we kept our staff safe so that we could continue to, you know, to provide services. So obviously, you know, it's hard to have an annual meeting without really talking about financials, correct? You know, recapping, we did, you know, like a lot of places, you know, March came and we saw ourselves having to do that shutdown. We closed down services from about mid-March and started a soft open in mid-May. We were deemed essential, so we were allowed to stay open as a nonprofit and as part of the supply chain. So although we closed our services, we did start to see a lot of people itching to come back, and we did that soft open in mid-May and started first with our janitorial workers so they could come in and learn all of the new cleaning protocols that we had put into place. And then we slowly started bringing others back. So those are some of the things that we started to navigate through. During COVID, of course, you know, we had our fund developer, we had our financial team. We were all like searching for things like grants, you know, what is it that we can do to bring in more revenue? And definitely we applied for and, you know, learned that we were forgiven on the PPP loan. So that to us was like a huge weight off our shoulders once we learned about that. So here, you know, we kind of break it down. I'm sorry, I might have jumped one. I don't know, were you on expenses, Sarah? Sorry, I might have jumped ahead. So here, of course, just laying out, we have our expenses, and then the next slide, we kind of go through the revenues. So just sort of recapping our total expenses for 2020, we're sitting there at about 3.7 million and our revenues at 4.3 million. So in a way, you know, we're going to say that it looks good on paper because I believe, you know, we're going to say that PPP loan was something that really helped save our organization greatly. Breaking it down, here you have a nice cute little pie chart that shows, and this is always the hardest thing to help people understand. I think on our call today, most people probably understand, but as you look at it, how are we funded? How does that work and what does it look like? Well, ultimately, you know, we receive, you know, for people to come to our services, we have to receive funding from somewhere. So Lakeland Care is our biggest managed care organization that provides, that authorizes and funds our pre-voc, day service, and home services, along with our long-term job coaching support. We also receive, Manitowoc County Human Services Department provides authorization and funding both for our recycling facility, but also now for our children's program. And that pie, hopefully that side of the pie will continue to grow as we start to see the children's program grow, you know, as we navigate into 2021 here. Our DVR program, the Division of Voc Rehab, they provide the funding for us to assist individuals to obtain employment in the community. And then also shown here is our, we show up there, the Department of Transportation, and they provide the funding for the I-43 rest area at this point. And I'm going to take that back. I take it back. I kind of mixed Manitowoc County and Human Services together. So Manitowoc County actually provides the funding for our recycling facility. The Human Services, that little 1% that's new for us, that's what funds our children's department. And again, that's the piece of the pie that will continue to grow as we start to see more and more children being referred for services. So forgive me on that one. And of course, it's always nice to see how does the rest of our programs look and where would we be? Well, we're very, very grateful for the COVID relief dollars this year. You know, we certainly, that helped our financial situation greatly. Our donors, I mean, I can't say enough. I mean, 43% of the donations we received were from donations. So that's huge for us. And we, you know, we could list them all, but I would always be afraid we're going to miss somebody. We've just seen a great, you know, a great response from our audience this year where they're like, yeah, you know, we need to help us send out. So very appreciative of that. Our special events, last year, I think most of you remember, we started the year off with this high we were on with our first Throw with All Your Heart signature event. This year, you know, we had another Throw with All Your Heart, looked a little bit different, but, you know, next year we're going to hopefully bring that back and have a hybrid where it could be both in person and virtual, because it seems like people have adjusted quite well to doing a hybrid of events, right? So started off the year with that. And then, of course, we also had our 5K run, walk, and roll in October, which we felt we safely could do because that was an outdoor event. And you also see a little piece of the pie there, which is actually something that we have, you know, very proud of, is our Lakeshore Community Foundation and our preservation fund. So that is continuing to grow as well. So goes without saying, where are we going? What's going to happen in 2021? Well, you know, I think with all of the reorganization, restructuring, and people in new positions, I think now is a time for us to look after the people that work for us. So we're really going to focus this year on not only trying to build capacity and bringing our participants back, but really spend a lot of time on staff development, leadership development, and you know, across the board. I think that's huge for our agency. You know, we've had so many people throughout the course of 20, so many staff just step up. So, you know, I look at it as it's our time now to take a look at how can we, you know, take care of our staff and help build them and build their skills during 2021. And I think, you know, we also need to continue to keep our eyes open and continually assess our organization and keep our eyes open for new opportunities so that we can continue beyond 2021 and into the future. So some fun community outreach initiatives for us to look forward to and to think about. Of course, for 2020, we had learned that we were the recipient of the Holy Family, the run, and also the Maritime Bay Classic Bike Race. Well, and of course, during June of 2020, neither of those events happened. So knock on wood, those events are back on the calendar. So we will be volunteering and, you know, really helping out with those two events, since we are the recipient from some funds for those events. We also are planning, you know, since June is sort of the anniversary month of Ascend Services, we want to have some type of anniversary celebration. Hopefully we can provide something that's still COVID safe and yet still recognize the anniversary of Ascend Services. In August, we are planning, through a grant that we received, a legislative mixer. We will have more details of that coming out soon to you as our team continues to put that together. And we always like to end our year with honoring October for two reasons. One, it's the birth or anniversary of Holiday House, so we like to honor and respect our history. And it's also National Disability Employment Awareness Month. So we always like to have that 5K run, walk, and roll happen in that month. Is just sort of a neat way to bring that in and solidify that anniversary. So with that, I'm going to ask if there's any questions. Otherwise, I'm just going to say thank you so much for everybody, you know, coming today and being a part of our presentation. And with that, I think I'm going to hand it back over to Kim if there's no questions.
All right, thank you, Deanna. Deanna, do we have any old business?
We do not.
Okay, under new business, we do have, I don't know if you're going to show this or if it was emailed out to everybody.
Where did it go?
The change to the bylaws that the board worked on in last May, and it has to do with the interruption of business activities. So after COVID and we had to make some changes, the board decided in the bylaws we should have an outline that helps an executive director and the board know what will happen at that time. So now, Deanna, I'm going to need your help. Does that just get reported here or does it get approved here?
It does get, it's something that we have to, so our board, I mean, it's gone through the steps with the board and now we're at the point of needing voting members to vote on accepting this addition to our current bylaws.
Okay. Thank you.
And I think
It wa-
Sarah was going to try to share that to the screen.
And it was in the packet everyone
Okay.
should have received who registered. Did everyone see it? Have time to go over it?
Okay, it's not letting me get in here.
It was in the board packet, or I can quickly read it. It's not very long.
Yeah, you can do that.
Sure. In case, and it's really easy. So it's just an addition, interruption of business activities. In case of an interruption of normal business activities due to circumstances beyond the control of Ascend Services, Inc., example, natural disaster, pandemic, infrastructure collapse, etc., business will be conducted in the following manner. 1, executive director will provide weekly updates to the board of directors. 2, board meetings will be held remotely via email or online platform or mail if necessary with a consent agenda approval. Recognition that in-person meetings might not meet requirements stated in the bylaws. All available resources exhausted. Example, small business loans, payroll protection loans, negotiations with providers, etc. And number 4, all contracted services performed as able. Every avenue possible will be investigated and implemented to maintain a business viability. Work will be made available for staff in whatever manner possible, including a change in work type, schedule, or environment. Example given, reduced hours, change of time worked, work from home, etc.
All right. Are there any questions or concerns with that? If not, I do need a motion to approve.
This is Sandy, so moved.
This is Laura. I can second.
All right. Is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion carries. So there was no, that was the only new business, correct, Deanna?
Yes,
All
that's
right.
the only new
So,
business.
we'll now go over the election results for 2021. There were this year 4 openings on the board, and we went out for nominations, and these 4 people all accepted nominations to be reelected. And since the 4 openings were matched by 4 candidates, they are elected by acclamations to 3-year terms. So there you can see who has been elected. Anything else, Deanna?
Nope, I think that concludes our annual meeting.
Okay, if not, I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. This is Laura.
Okay, Sandy will second.
All right, any further discussion? Okay, then I will adjourn the meeting at 4:48 p.m. Thank you, everyone.
Great, thank you.
Have a good evening.
Bye.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.
Good job. Oh, she's gone.
Oops. Sorry, Dave. Hi, Logan. Hi, Dave.
Hi, I think I joined just as things are wrapping up.
Yes, sir, you did.
I had a meeting that ran long and I hoped I could get in.
Okay, well, I've got you down as attending.
All right, what did I miss?
We had the bylaws amendment that was voted on. And just Deanna gave her annual